Good evening, everybody, and welcome to It's All Black and White TV. And tonight we're doing a half-term report. Okay. Apologies if my internet's a little bit weird tonight. I don't know what's going on in the area, and I'm sitting right underneath my router as well. So, guys, if you like what you see, then please hit the like button. It really does help the channel grow up the search settings as well, and means people can find it a lot more easily. Also, if you haven't yet, then please click the subscribe button. It's free to do so, helps the channel grow, and also hit the bell notification. That tells you when I put a pre-recorded video on or I'm on live as well, as I am tonight. So get them formalities out the way now. So yeah, guys, so it's like I say, what's on the screen by me, it's a half-term report. What a fantastic start the season we've had. One game we've lost, and that's it in whole, since we started from August until this World Cup break now. And we sit third in the Premier League on 30 points and a goal difference of plus 18. Some people have said, oh, well, that means we're 10 points from safety. Well, I don't think we've got to worry about relegation anymore, if I'm honest. But yeah, I mean, it's been a cracking start the season. If we were in at the World Cup break, I would have probably laughed at them, if I'm honest. I would have thought, well, I don't think so. I don't think we would be third. Yeah, I mean, especially since Eddie Howe came in 12 months ago, and look where the club is now. I mean, couldn't ask for any better, could you really? And do we dare dream as a fan base? Well, of course we can dream. People can get carried away too. There's no room in that whatsoever. But, I'm my feet on it, can get a title here. I honestly don't think we'll win the league. I think Man City will still win the league. I'm still quite confident they'll win the league because they are the best team in the league. I mean, I know Arsenal's there. All Arsenal's got to do is lose a couple of games, go on a bit of run, and then Man City overtake them. And I think once Man City get back in first place, they stay there. But while we're up there, we'll give it a go, and rightly so. And that what can we say? It's been fantastic. We've got a great defence. I mean, all these pundits who said Eddie Howe can't defend or doesn't have defensive tactics, well, that's blown out the water because Eddie does know how to defend, and also he knows how to attack as well. And this pressing and intensity style that we've got now is catching a lot of teams out because they don't know how to play against us. That's the thing. They do not know how to play against us. Tottenham have found this out. They did it. Chelsea's found it out. All the teams have found it out what we're like now, and we are a totally different animal. We are no longer that easy 3 or 4-0 win for any team whatsoever now. We are a more hardened unit now, and we will continue to grow. And whether we finish in the Champions League place this season or we finish in 7th, which is the Europa Conference League, I'll take 7th place now if that's ended up, the European competition. So we'll not get too downbeat if we didn't end up in the Champions League. Obviously, people want to win the Champions League, but it's a good place we're in because if we stay in this top 4 into January window, you can attract that little bit better caliber player as well because they'll see it and say, oh, hang on a minute, Newcastle, where were they last season? Oh, they were rock bottom, but look where they are now in the top 4 in the Champions League positions. So you're going to get them players wanting to come in. Got some comments here. Roy says, watching in the car, mate. Thank you, Roy. Nice to see you, mate, again. It's the King of Qatar. And I like coffee. Good evening, Tony and all. Good evening to you as well. I like coffee. Hope you're well, mate. But yeah, I mean, we've, like I say, we just absolutely flying this, and long may this continue. And there'll be no let up after the World Cup, even though, we've got this big how it's still going to intensify this training. And yes, the players are going to get a cut off, but when they come back, It's back to the training regime, and he wants us ready by the time we go against Bournemouth in the Carabao Cup, because that'll be the first game back. So that would be technically like playing a sort of friendly sort of thing, although it's a cup game and we want to win it. So I think it'll be a chance for us to get back into the routine again of football. And then we'll have Leicester and so bring it on. Can't wait. And, got the World Cup first, but after that, let's get back to business of the Premier League. And Larry can start and carried on into the new year as well. Mighty Mag says, hi, Tony and all. It's going to be an interesting window in January. Yes, it'll be a very interesting window in January. I don't know what will happen in January, but, everybody's excited. We're all looking forward to it. So, yeah, let's hope we're in for a great window in January. So, guys, like I say, if you like what you see, click buttons. That really does help the channel grow and be found easier in the search settings as well. Also, if not, then please hit the subscribe button. It's free to do so, helps the channel grow, and also the bell notification. That will tell you when I put a pre-recorded video on or I become live as well. So right, without further ado, let's get into this halftime report. So yeah, so like I say, we've had a great time. We've done well. We're sitting third, 30 points plus 18 goal difference for the people who just joined. So I'm going to go over ratings as well. So I'm going to start with Nick Pope has been outstanding. 6 clean sheets. What more could you ask for? The guy's played really well. Yes, he's still a little bit, he's not as comfortable as Eddie's feet, but he's getting better and better, I think. But this guy's done absolutely brilliant for us, and he's pulled off some great saves for us. Kept us in the game against Chelsea as well with a fantastic save from Conor Gallagher. I think at £10 million, the guy's an absolute bargain. It's a steal. And he's been part of a solid back four. Well, sorry, not a back four. It's a back five because you've got to include Pope in that as well. Yes, he got criticised off England fans for that gaff against Germany. But do you know what? All keepers have a bad game. But there again, if you're stuck behind the likes of Harry Maguire, then you're going to be nervous as hell anyway. So, if you watch him watch him when he's playing for us, when he's behind the likes of Trippier, Schär, Botman and Burn, he's a totally different player. So, yeah. So for me, I give Pope a 9. Get your comments in the chat and let me know what your ratings are. But I'm going for a 9 for Nick Pope because I think he's been absolutely brilliant for us. And against Villa, he could have sat in a hammock and having a pina colada because he had nothing to do all game against Villa at all. Mighty Mag says Pope a 10 plus. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's been absolutely brilliant. Next player on the screen is Kieran Trippier. Kieran Trippier, Captain Marvel, Captain Fantastic. What a revelation this guy has been. £12 million for this guy from Atletico Madrid. Yes, he might have been 31 when we brought him into the club, but I'll tell you what, this guy is a cracking signing and one of the best signings we've brought into the club. And he was the start of it, the first signing under the new ownership. And the guy's been brilliant. He's only going to get better. Well, he's not get better because he's actually brilliant. But what I'm trying to say is that the team around him will gel even more. I mean, even new players coming in will see the difference in the team. And this guy, he can defend, he can attack, he can take a free kick, he can even take a penalty, as we know. This guy is, I just don't know what to say. He's all action. He's an action man. He lost the ball on Saturday, but then he got back and got it back off Pulisic. And then, so that just shows you the measure of this guy. This guy's been absolutely brilliant. So for me, Kieran Trippier, he gets a 10 all day for me. I mean, absolute fantastic guy. I like Coffee says Pope at 10. And he also says Trippier is for a 10 as well. And Mighty Max says Trippier out of this world. Yeah, he is. I mean, he's on a totally different planet. if he doesn't start for England in this World Cup, I'll be very surprised, because he really deserves to be starting them games for England. I mean, he's been absolutely fantastic. That guy has. I mean, you know, doesn't deserve to be any doesn't deserve to be playing for England from the start. So yeah, let's hope. So I'm going to just go on my current team as we are at the moment. Ali Coffee says there's a loud popping sound. I don't know. I can't hear any popping sound, but I'm not sure unless it's my internet. Tony, sound problems, mate. Oh, okay. I'm having sound problems. I'm not so sure what that is, though. Oh, it stopped, he says. All right, okay. Hang on, my phone might have been too close to my mate. I've just moved that away, so maybe that's what it was. But yeah. So yeah, let's get on to the next player, and I'm going to go to Fabian Schär. Under Steve Bruce, this player was disregarded, really, but he's come back into the team under Eddie Howe. The guy's been a revelation. Got his new contract as well, fully deserved. We remember we bought this guy for $3.5 million because he had a release clause when his former side went down. So what a bargain this guy has been, £3.5 million. And, he can score a cracking goal as well. We've seen it. The goal against Forest was a copycat goal of the one he scored against Burnley. If you look at them both on YouTube, they're both exactly the same spot. It's just amazing this guy's got a shot on him. Yeah, so for me, Schär has been absolutely brilliant. And I can't see, what do I give Schär? Because I think he's been terrific. He's got to have a 10 in my eyes. Absolutely, he's been absolutely brilliant. Ashton says, "Oh yeah, Tony, mate, you get one of those Discords." Yeah, I'm going to look into that, mate. I really am. Yeah. I just haven't had the time lately, but I'm going to have a look into it and see how I go about getting onto that as well. Mighty Mag says Schär's a new player, 8.5. Yeah, absolutely. Ashton says Schär's a quality player. Yeah, bang on he is. And he says 9 for a Schär as well. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's played really, really well. He deserves to be where he is. And Ali Coffee says Schär at 10. He agrees with me on that one. Lovely. So the next player I'm going into, Mr. Sven Botman. Now, he's one of my favourites now. I think this guy's class. He oozes class, the Rolls Royce of defenders. He's done really, really well at the club. I mean, for £35 million, when you're buying a 22-year-old from Lille who come from the Ajax Academy, you're thinking, okay, let's see what he's got about him. But we can see why the owners hung on in there to get to this guy, because this guy's been absolutely brilliant. I mean, he hasn't lost a game for us since he's played. The only team he didn't play against, Liverpool. So, but yeah, we're undefeated under Botman. I mean, he's good with his ball. He's got good ball skills on the back. He can play out from the back. He's got a good pass on him. He can attack in the box as well. He's been close with a header, which was only tipped away by Burn Leno of Fulham. But other than that, I think if this guy scores, I think the roof's going to come off at St. James's Park, because this guy's absolutely amazing. I can't give this guy any less either. So this guy, for me, gets a 10 all day, Sven Botman. So let's see what the comments are. Ashton says, the lad's been playing a lot, got a lot fitter since Eddie, and the rest should be a good refresher. Yeah, absolutely. I think the World Cup maybe does come at the right time in a way, gives the guys a rest, get them to recharge their batteries, come back and start as we mean to go on. Botman in easy 10. Yeah, absolutely. I like Coffee 10 plus. Yeah, 2 right years. Mighty Max says, Botman 10 as Champions League player. Yes, he is. And Ashton says, yeah, he's Champions League quality. Yes, he is. Absolutely. And he says, and I'm still waiting for a Botman header goal. Yeah, I think we all are as well. And I think once he does score, as I say, if it's at St. James's Park, I think the roof will come off the stadium because, the stadium will erupt. So, so we wait and see on that one. So my next player I'm going into now is this guy, Dan Burn. So he came in to fill in at left back when Matt Targett had an illness, and he hasn't looked back since. I mean, the guy's stayed exactly where he is at left back. He's took the role on, and he's took it on with aplomb, and he's done very, very well at left back, I think. He's been absolutely brilliant at left back. He's done everything that was asked of him. I mean, there was people worried about Anthony from Man United against him, with the pace to see. But I tell you what, he done well, Dan Burn. Targett can't get back in the team because this guy's so much on form that he's got the shirt on his back and he's not letting anybody take it off him. So for me, Big Dan Burn's been a revelation. Another brilliant sign of £12 million as well when you think from Brighton. And it's a bargain. So for me, what would I give Burn? I'll tell you what. I know his crossing's really not there as such. So for me, Burn will get a 9. But I'll tell you what, the guy's been brilliant. So Burn gets a 9 from me all day. Outstanding. Ali Coffee says 10 for Burn. Yes, yeah, I would, but I've said 9. I think he's worth a 9 anyway. Ashton says, some Chelsea fan was telling me earlier that our owners only bought to make money and then deleted it. Well, our owners aren't here just to make money. They're here to win things. They were here to make this club successful, to get it on a global brand so that the club is recognised worldwide as well. So it's not just for the fact that they're here for the money or making money. They're here to win things because, as everybody knows, Saudi Arabia or anybody from the Middle East, they don't like coming second best. They like to win, and they're here to win. And believe me, they're here for the long term. Amanda Staveley put out a long-term plan. She ain't going to put that out live on TV if it was never going to happen. So, yeah. To be honest with you, these Chelsea fans, they're all jealous now because they've realised they wish they had owners like what we've got. Because not only have the owners got money to pump in the club, but it's the way they've interacted with the fans, and they've got the fans back on side with the club as well, because under the previous owner, the owner and the fans were drifting apart terribly because the owner just didn't want to interact with us whatsoever. So it didn't feel like a club. It just felt like, we just go there just to watch the game. So now we've got more belief in ourselves, and we've got the belief that we can go there. And now we have the belief when we're watching games or going to games that we're now going to win every game. We might not win every game, but we've got that confidence now. And it's great to have that feeling back. We have our club back, and that is the main thing. We've got our club back. Ashton says a 9 for Burn as well. Yep, I totally agree with that one. The comments are just flicked up a bit there. Hang on, I'll just get you back. There we are. Mighty Mag says a 9 for Burn as well. Ashton says Burn's from Blythe as well, so not far away. Haha. Yeah, he is, isn't he? Yeah, he's a Blythe lad, isn't he, Dan Burn? Burn was out in Blythe after the game, or I might have been dreaming. I think he was out and about, wasn't he? Yeah. Wouldn't be surprised, lol. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sefton's in the house. Evening, Sefton. I hope you're feeling a lot better, mate, after you weren't very well on Saturday. But I hope that win on Saturday has been a nice tonic to help getting you back to full health as well, mate. And Ashton says, another Chelsea fan was clearly paid when, as he was saying, our football's boring, don't know what game he was watching. Well, yeah, exactly what game was he watching? Because if you look at our press, I mean, you know, the way we go into their players, I mean, we were pressing their defenders, and Joe Linton was pressing the right back. And then when the ball was passed in midfield, Joe Linton was back there and he got the ball back. That's what we do. We press, press, press. If you haven't watched Match of the Day, I would suggest go to Catch Up TV on BBC iPlayer and watch it, and then watch the analysis at the end with Alan Shearer, and you'll see what he means. But the pressing that we do, and a lot of fans need to, neutral fans like say Big Six fans or whatever, just go and watch it and just see how well we are actually playing at the moment, and you'll soon see. I shouldn't say it's must have watching the Aston Villa game. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, absolutely. And I shouldn't say, did you see how many fouls they got playing Brighton? Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was just awful the way they were against Brighton. Yeah, I saw how many they got. Sefton says, Tony on the men now, mate. No problem, Sefton. No problem, mate. Nice to see you out up and about now and fighting fit again. So, right. So, the next player that I'm going to go to next is hang on. Right. Just seem to have had a pop up here a minute, and then I'll just try and get rid of this off the screen. It won't go off. Okay, so I'm just having a few issues at the moment, but yeah, I mean, we are just playing really well at the moment, and it's gone now. Right. Okay, so I Like Coffee says, Chelsea fans not used to being in the position we are in right now. No, absolutely not. And they're in the 8th position, and they're totally not used to that either. Mighty Max is on Match of the Day. Shearer point out everyone knows what each other's doing. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Eddie's got them well drilled and well prepared. Ashington says, don't let the people complain about Wilson going to the World Cup and not Tony. Should be Rashford. They are complaining about. Yeah, absolutely. Rashford should not be going to the World Cup. Tony should be ahead of Rashford. I mean, Tony's got 10 goals in 14 games. Rashford has 4 goals in 14 games. So to me, if you're picking players on form, then Southgate's talking a load of rubbish, because he's clearly not picking players on form, because if he was, Rashford wouldn't go and Tony would be there instead. Mighty Manu boss at me, growled at me when I mentioned the league this morning. Oh, your boss. Oh, you got a boss up there who must be a Man United fan, I think. Yeah, they're not happy, are they? I shouldn't say Southgate picks by club, not form. Exactly. But Southgate's words were, we will pick players who are on form, and that has never happened. And he says, anyone seen that Ronaldo interview? Saw people complaining but haven't watched it. No, I haven't watched it personally. I've seen a few snippets from it. I know he said something about Man United and Ten Hag doesn't want him there or whatever. But if he doesn't, then that's fair enough. Just get him to move on. Hate that Piers Morgan idiot, but might watch it just to see what Ronaldo's saying. Yeah, exactly. I can't stand Piers Morgan either. And if we beat Arsenal at the Emirates, that would be great as well, because that will just ram it down his throat as well, with him being a big Arsenal fan. Right, so yeah. So like I said, I was going to go with my next player. So next player I'm going to go to is this guy, Bruno. Now, Bruno's been an absolute revelation to this club. I mean, we brought him in 36 million with add-ons up to 40 million. I mean, what a bargain. What an absolute steal. And I just sort of think, well, what were Lyon doing to get rid of this guy for that sort of price? I mean, to me, they've given him away, really. They may as well have given him on a free, because that's what they've done in effect. This guy's worth well over £150 million in my eyes. I mean, He's a great ball carrier in midfield. He does have an eye for goal. He has an eye for a pass as well, and he can tackle well and get back and defend. So yeah, this guy is absolutely brilliant. Yes, he's had a couple of not bad games. I mean, he didn't play too well at Southampton, but scored. And then yes, on Saturday, he'd done a couple of passes which were a bit misplaced and weren't weighted well enough. Other than that, this guy's been brilliant. I mean, the goal he scored 2 goals against Brentford, the header from that cross. I mean, a lot of skill involved in that. And then also the way he took the ball off the guy on the on the touchline and got in and 30 yards, put it in the back of the net. I mean, the guy's been a revelation. So for me, Bruno gets a 10 in my eyes because I think he's been absolutely brilliant. And he's been the difference of where we are now as well. Ali Coffee says, Ronaldo to Piers Morgan. Back in the Ferguson era, the fridge was in the kitchen. Now I sit on the pitch with a captain armband. Okay. Yep. I like that one. That's a good one. I think you're talking about Maguire, I think. Ashton says Bruno 9. And he says, seen Chelsea fans saying he's going to join them. Haha, they must be raging. There's no way Bruno is going to another Premier League club. We will never sell him to another club in the Premier League. So I think they're on cloud cuckoo land, if I'm honest. Ali Coffee, don't think Ronaldo said that, but probably believes it. Yeah, probably does, yeah. And Ashton says, anyone watch West Ham games? You don't hear much about his mate Paqueta. No, I mean, he's been playing all right as far as I know, but you don't hear a lot about him. You don't hear them raving about him in the Premier League, saying, oh, Paqueta's done this, Paqueta's done that. So, yeah, maybe he's just taking a bit of time to settle in. So, yeah. Right, so let's go to the next one. So we have Joe Willock. So again, Joe Willock, I think he's been playing outstanding this season. He's getting back to the Joe Willock we know. He's full of energy, full of running. He's got a good engine on him. And his last 2 games, he's popped up with 2 goals. That one against Chelsea was a cracking goal. He took off the feet of Almiron and placed it past Edouard Mendy. I mean, he didn't put his laces through. He's just done it carefully and beautifully caressed the ball and into the back of the net. Goal against Southampton was a real style one, but you know what? It doesn't matter how they go in as long as they go in the back of the net. This guy will come back from the World Cup and hopefully get back on the scoring spree. I can't praise him highly enough. And for me, for all his energy and everything, I'm going to give him a 10. Yeah, I think he deserves a 10 in my eyes because he's been absolutely brilliant. And I think if he continues this form, there'll be an England cap around the corner somewhere in the future for Joe Willock. I'm sure of that. I thought you'd hear more about him. Yeah, I would have thought so about Paqueta, but yeah, we don't really hear a lot, do we? They don't rave about him. Ashton says, Willock and Longstaff look like the next players who are starting to play well. Yeah, absolutely, totally agree with that one. Willock and 9 says, I like coffee. I didn't expect that goal when Miggy had the ball. Was quite impressed with it. Yeah, it was a heck of a goal, wasn't it? Ashton says, Willock 10 for me for smashing the goal against Chelsea. Yeah, exactly. I mean, to beat Chelsea, fantastic result on Saturday, and it leaves us in 3rd in the Premier League, which is absolutely brilliant. So the next player I'm going to now is J7, Big Joe Linton. Guy came in, well, he was coming in as a striker for £40 million. Not a £40 million player, this guy. Well, not a £40 million striker, that's for sure. He couldn't hit a barn door, could he really? I mean, he'd scored a few, but he wasn't really prolific. I think the I thought if he comes in and bangs in 30 goals in the season, Man City might come knocking for 80 million for him. Don't know where he was thinking that. He must have been dreaming about it. But, Eddie put him in midfield. And this guy has been an absolute revelation in midfield. He's been absolutely brilliant. He's tearing it up now in the Premier League. He's one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. So for me, this guy has done so well for the club, and with all his industry and running, and he scored as well. I can't go anything past this guy, and I'm going to give him a 9. I think he deserves a 9. I like Coffee says 10 for Joe Linton. Ashton says, how many games have we been playing well now? Because it's not just this season and the last season. We were playing pretty well and in good form. Yeah, absolutely. We carried the form on from last season and we brought it into this season. But the difference is Eddie had a full pre-season as well with the team, which really does help. If Cabichet had got sacked last season when Mike Ashley was still owner and Eddie Howe was brought in, where would we have finished last season? That's the thing. Because he would have gone and the new owners would have come in and Eddie would have carried on. So, yeah, it's just interesting to see where we would have been. Sefton says, betting odds for the top 6. Arsenal 1 to 500. Obviously favourites. Liverpool are 1 to 10. 2 to 9 for Man United. 1 to 4 for Newcastle. 2 to 7 for Chelsea. 2 to 7, for Newcastle. And Chelsea are 1 to 2. So least favourites are there. Chelsea. Yeah. Again, I can see us finishing. I mean, if we even finish in the top 7, do you know what? That's progress from last season. I mean, my predictions at the start, before a ball was even kicked, I did say we'll win the Carabao Cup, we'll get the semi-finals of the FA Cup, and we'll finish 7th. Now, if that does happen, that's my prediction, right? And also, it just shows you the progress we have made. But we can see the progress already. And it's great to see that people are actually talking about us. Ashton says it may be unlikely, but we are in the title race. Very hard to do and would need at least a couple of good players in Jan, but it's not impossible, just slim. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, it's... But there again, funnier things have happened, you know. I mean, if we keep up there with the pressure, who knows? Man City could lose a couple of games. I mean, they got beat by Brentford. Who would have thought that? I mean, Brentford's away form's been absolutely dire this season, and they've gone there and won 2-1, you know? So Arsenal could fall away as well. So it could be wide open. We could be with a shout. There's no harm in getting excited and being like, you know, and getting carried away. But, you know, we'll take it as it comes. And if we are in a Premier League race, title race, so be it. If we're not, then fair enough. But yeah, let's wait and see what happens. Ashton says, Eddie's already broken a record, keeping us up last season. No one's ever done it losing that much. No team's ever gone 14 games without a win before and staying up. So we've done that. And, you know, when we sacked Bruce, all of a sudden Norwich sacked their manager, Villa sacked their manager, Dean Smith went to Norwich, and Gerrard went to Villa. And Eddie's just waved bye-bye to both of them because Dean Smith's in Championship with Norwich and Gerrard got the sack. So there you go. That shows you who got the better manager. I like Coffee. I'm glad we got Eddie over Emery. I guess things work out for the best. Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes they do work out that way. And yeah, and I'm so happy we've got Eddie Howe. He's absolutely fantastic. Ashton says, exactly, Coffee. I hope Emery feels somehow. I don't think he's genuine as Eddie. No, I don't think he is. I was a bit skeptical of us bringing Emery in, if I'm honest, because yes, he's got a great record for trophies, but how would he be in a relegation fight? And I just sort of thought, no, I'm not really sure about this guy. Ashton says, we have to take into account what place we would be if we got them games against Liverpool and Palace. Another early game, bad VAR decisions, it would definitely be higher. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, if, say, we'd got 3 points, we'd definitely be in second place now. So that shows you how far away we are. Not that far. And it's always just those little minors, you know. All right, Coffee, Man U and Liverpool seem to be picking up again. Yeah, but I mean, they might have picked up again, but then they may drop again because there's a break in the World Cup now. So who knows? But got nothing to fear from any team in this league whatsoever. Not one team in this league fears us. We're playing without fear, and that's what I like to see, us playing without any fear. We are playing like a team that wants to win every single game we play in, and that can only be good for the future and for any players who come in. So long may this continue. Let's hope. Come on. We're all getting excited here. Ashington says, for the moment, hope they do bad again soon. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, yeah, I think there'll be a run where they'll go on a bad run. I mean, Liverpool haven't really set the Premier League alight. Ashington says Emery may be a good manager, but no way was he keeping us up in that relegation battle. No, I don't think he was. Not at all. Okay. So I'm just going to go down my list here. So the next player on to screen now is this guy, Miggy Almiron. Well, this guy I think has been an absolute revelation. Eddie Howe's got a tune out of him. And it's not just a small tune, it's a very, very large tune out of this guy. And this guy has been playing so well. Maybe he's getting back to the player he was when he played in the MLS because he ripped that apart and he scored a lot of goals in the MLS and a lot of assists. So this guy will be in double figures before. I said this guy would get a double figures around mid-January. I think it'll be well before mid-January because he's only 2 goals away. So he could get it before the end of this year, before we're going to 2023. So this guy, absolutely fantastic. He's been brilliant. For the month, goal of the month. Keeps having his own goal of the month competitions. So for me, I've got to give Almiron a 10. I can't give him any less than that, I'm afraid. Ashington says, attacking football is a way to go. We need to play like this to succeed. Yeah, absolutely. Chris is in. Good evening to you, Chris. Hope you're well. Eddie has us playing like the entertainers, but with a rock-solid defence. Yeah, Keegan didn't have any defensive tactics. He just said, score one more than the opposition. Even John Beresford said that. LA Coffee says, Mickey 10 and player of the season so far. Absolutely. Ashington says, 10 out of 10 for Mickey. Couldn't be happier for this lad. No, absolutely. And Sefton says, he's a star man, Mickey Stardust. I like that one. I love that. That is absolutely fantastic. Brilliant. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the guy's just outstanding, isn't he? So Miggy Stardust, eh? I may catch on, you know, Sefton. Who knows? That may catch on. So yeah, let's see anyway. So I'm just going down my list of players. So these aren't in like team order or whatever. So I'll just go to whoever next. So the next player I'm going to bring up on screen is Callum Wilson. Yes, he had 4 weeks out with an injury, but he's come back. And you wouldn't think he had been out for 4 weeks with an injury when he came back, because he came back and he hit the ground running. I think he's played absolutely brilliant. He's been great for us. You know, he scored some goals and assisted Murphy for that goal against Brentford. I mean, what more can we say about this guy? You know, Mr. Dependable in front of goal. Give him the service and he'll put the ball away all day. I hope Southgate's took notice how we play, because if he plays defensive in the World Cup and brings Wilson on as a substitute, then Wilson may struggle, because this lad needs balls played into his feet. Play them into his feet and them are in the back of the net all day. So for me, this guy, Callum Wilson, for me, Wilson gets a 9 from me, because I think he's been brilliant this season, and I just hope we can keep him fit, because that's what we need to do, keep him fit. Ashton says, would love to see Keegan at the tune. Ashton says, 9 for Wilson. Andrew says, Harry, Tony. Harry, Andrew, hope you're well, mate. Thank you for joining on. And LA Coffee says, Wilson, 8-10. Right, okay. So the next player is Jacob Murphy. Murphy hasn't played too bad when he's been called upon to play, and he scored a goal as well, and he hit the post against Villa, which was unlucky. Yeah, so he hasn't done too bad. Is he the guy that's next level? No. But, you know, what he has done, he's been so steady in the team. He's had to do. He's done the job he was coming in to do. So for me, I'm going to give Murphy an 8. That's what I think he deserves, an 8 this season. Ashton agrees. He says 8 for Murphy, and I like Coffee says 10 for Wilson. Yeah, absolutely. Ashton says he's done all right, improved, but done what he's needed to do. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Keep your comments coming in, guys, on who you think's playing well and what your ratings are, and if you agree with me or not. Or, you know, we'll all have different ratings, but, you know, that's what it's all about. Right, next guy on screen is ESM. So ESM scored a terrific goal against Wolves. You know, absolutely brilliant. He was unplayable against Man City. Give Kyle Walker a torrid time. You know, I think Kyle Walker come off that pitch thinking, you know, I'm glad this game's finished, because I mean, you know, the guys played so well then, and then he had that goal against Wolves, which was a terrific volley, by the way. I mean, great volley as well. But other than being injured as well, he's been out for quite a while with an injury, so we haven't really seen him. But you know, it's a hard one to give for Maxi, because he really hasn't played a lot. But for me, I'm giving him a 7. Because of his goal against Wolves, and the way he was unplayable against Man City. So yeah, I'm going to give him a 7. But that's not being harsh on ESM. I think it's about the right score as well. LA Coffee says Murphy an 8 as well. Yeah. Sefton says, to be honest with everyone, the squad 10 out of 10. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, I've been brilliant. Everybody has. Ashton says Trippier, Bruno, Botman, Miggy are all my players of the season so far. Yeah, got to be. Yeah, definitely. ESM is an 8. Has done well with Man City earlier, but being injured too much lately to give him enough chance to keep playing. Yeah, absolutely. Chris says, I like the way Murphy ran back up to his teammates when Havertz kicked off at the end of the Chelsea game. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was ridiculous, that wasn't it? Stephen's reading report yesterday in January. I don't think he will be, but I think if he does go, it'd be because we've replaced him with somebody better. That's the only way I can see him going. But, you know, we just watch his space and see what happens. We'll know more come January. If we sign a left winger that's of great quality, then, and he's better than what we've got with ESM, then yes, I think the club will let him go. But I think until then, I think he stays at the club. He has to anyway. LA Coffee says 7 for ESM. And he says away to where? We're not sure. Ashton says, I like Chris Wood, but he just hasn't done enough for me. And he says, I don't think ESM will go. Yeah, like I say, the only way I think we might be tempted to let him go is if we replace him with somebody better. So we wait and see on that one. So next player on the screen, Sean Longstaff. For me, he's getting back to the way he was under Rafa Benitez. I mean, he played well under Rafa. You know, we saw a player that was on the was being touted for an England call-up, £50 million rated by Man United at the time. And he looked like he was going to turn into this great midfielder. But once Benitez left, he had 2 years of his footballing career taken away from him by our former manager, Mr. Cabbagehead. And his career nosedived. But under Eddie Howe, Eddie saw something in him, got him in the team, give him a chance, give him a go. And the guy's been absolutely fantastic since he's been playing for us. He's been brilliant. He's getting better. He's getting back to the Rafa Benitez era's best now. So for me, he's much improved. And it might surprise a lot of people, this actually, but I'm going to give him a 9 because I think he deserves it for his hard work and his tenacity. Ashington says, Diaby and Maddison, someone to replace Manquillo, he needs to go. Yeah, totally. I mean, the thing is, we get Diaby and that's a good sign. We get Maddison even better because Maddison can also play right wing. So he's versatile as well, which is even better. And he says, Ashington, Longstaff 8.5, he's improved a lot, but looks like he's almost peaking. Yeah. He says the way I saw that Chelsea game is they were focusing mostly on Mickey. Yeah, absolutely. They were terrified of Mickey, by the way. Longstaff in 8 says I like coffee. Okay, so the next player is Elliot Anderson. And again, he's not really played a lot. I mean, he's played in the cup games and that. Apparently his tackle weren't very good last week. But other than that, he hasn't really featured. He hasn't started any Premier League games. So going on what I've seen of Elliot Anderson, I mean, does he need a loan in January? Should we loan him to a Championship club if we've got replacements in? I don't know. It's a hard one to do. Maybe it might get his confidence up if he went to a Championship club, but a top-end Championship club, not a bottom-end Championship club. But for me, I haven't seen enough of him to give him a great rating. So I'm just going to go, and it's not being harsh on Elliot Anderson but I'm going to give Elliot a 6, unfortunately. I might get hammered for that, but I think it's probably about right. Ashton says, I think Potter's plan was just to stop Miggy. Yeah, absolutely. Ashton says Anderson 7 because he's not got enough game time. Yeah. But looks like he's got a lot of potential. Yeah, absolutely he has. And I mean, he just needs to, it's just once he breaks in, once he gets in and starts playing, then we might see more out of him. Ali Coffee says the Jody Maradona gets a 7. Yeah. Ashton says, yeah, loan if we get in a couple of good players. Yeah, definitely. I mean, if we get a couple of good players in, then I think letting Anderson go to a top, if he went to somewhere like a Burnley, because I mean, they're playing some terrific football under Vincent Kompany, by the way, and they're flying at the top of the league. So if he went somewhere like that, maybe that would get his confidence up. But I think a top-end Championship club would be more beneficial to Elliot Anderson in my eyes. Okay. So next player is John Joe Shelvey. He's been injured most of the season. He's had a couple of sub appearances. Nothing to write home about. This guy's not even fully fit. So, well, not fully match fit. I'm just going to give him a standard 5. That's what I can give Shelvey, a standard 5. So that's what Shelvey gets from me. And the comments. I like Coffee Potter's plan to stop Miggy. He won't work because Miggy unstoppable. Yeah. Ashton agrees with you as well. I like Coffee, yeah. Ashton says 7 for Shelvey. Not played enough, but did improve before he got injured. Yes, he did, yeah. I like Coffee says a 5 as well. Yeah, I just give him a standard 5 because of this season. And I just thought, let's, until he comes back properly and he's playing more minutes than that. We're not going to see the full Shelvey yet, but I think he'll definitely have a part to play in the friendly matches as well. That's for sure. So yeah, we wait and see anyway. And also, he got a start last week, didn't he, against but in the cup against Palace. Okay, so the next player, Chris Wood. So our New Zealander, Chris Wood. Well, he's had some chances this season to score and he didn't take them, but he took the one Southampton beautifully, I thought. Hasn't been too bad. Done what he's had to do when he's come on, but he's not an out-and-out goal scorer. That's the thing. He's more of a target man. And sometimes we don't play to his strengths. Like on Saturday, we weren't really playing to his strengths. I don't think crossing the ball into the box for him to get on the end of, but he missed a chance Saturday as well. I mean, for me, Chris Wood gets 7 in my eyes. I'll give him a 7 because he has been okayish. Right, I'll delve into some comments and see what we get now. Shelvey 5 says, I like coffee. Ashton says, I think Shelvey will stay a couple more years before he goes, Max. Yeah, he may do, or he may go next summer. Who knows? I like coffee says 8 for Wood. Joseph, good evening to you as well, mate. Hope you're well. 7 for Wood. Ashton says, Wood is a 6 on me. Just not performed good enough for me, but think he will go soon. Yeah, I think once we get some decent strikers in the club, I think he'll be gone. Yeah. Wood needs to let him go. Sorry to say, says Mighty Mag. Yeah, I agree. I mean, but we'll have to keep him until we get some strikers in the club. That's the thing. I like Wood, says Ashton, but don't think he fits in. He does not to our system. He doesn't, not at all, no. And maybe he needs to go somewhere else where he can fit in and play games and score goals. So next one on the list is Javier Manquillo. Hasn't done a lot this season, to be fair. So for me, he gets a standard. I'm just going to give him. He lost his way with that goal against Southampton as well. I don't think he covered himself in glory. I give him a 5. I'll just give him a standard 5. Could sell him back to Burnley, says Ashton. Yeah, if Burnley won him, yeah. Manquillo 3, terrible, has to be sold for me. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he needs to go. And Manquillo 5 says, I like coffee. Okay. So yeah. Next player, Jamal Lascelles. Okay, so teams as we all know now. Doesn't get in the team, but he does come on as he does have the odd substitute appearance as well. So what will I give him? Well, I mean, he's done all right, to be fair. I mean, when called upon, he's come in and he's been there and he's been solid enough for us. But for me, I mean, I think he scored that goal against Tranmere, didn't he? And he was okay against Liverpool. He had a good enough game. I think it'd be harsh to give him less than Lascelles. I'm going to say for Lascelles, I'll give him a 7. I'll give him a 7. I think that's probably being too generous, but I'll give him a 7 anyway. Mighty Max says, yeah, Manquillo's another one we could let go of. Ashton says Lascelles a 5. Lascelles time's up, says Mighty Mag. Yes, it is, I think, yeah. I think he'll be gone soon. Ashton says we need to buy a better backup defenders. They are not up to the par compared to our new defence, and the difference between them is night and day. I would say somebody like Benoit Badiashile from Monaco, terrific defender, 21-year-old. He he's a great tackler, doesn't give penalties away, great tackling in the box, big lad, big unit. He'd be the ultimate replacement for sharing time as well. So 21 would only get better and better. So I would see him, and for about 40 million, grab him and then sell Lascelles, or ask Monaco if they want Lascelles and part exchange. LA Coffee says Lascelles is 6, but although Monaco might say Lascelles, no, you can keep them, thank you. They probably wouldn't even want him on a free. Chris says Lascelles deserves an extra point just for annoying Cucurella. Yeah, for that yellow card. I mean, that was brilliant, wasn't it, from Lascelles? 7 for Lascelles. Tony, you've been drinking? Well, actually, yeah, I've got a Jack Daniels and Coke, but no, I'm not drunk, by the way. But no, I just think I'm giving them that for that yellow card as well. I mean, that was just great. I mean, that's when you're taking one for the team as well, you know, so absolutely fantastic. Sefton says Newcastle are ready to pay 52.6 million for ideal winger as PIF's big ambitions revealed. Which winger that is, we do not know. Could that be Mudryk by any chance? I mean, if it is, then that would be a direct replacement for ESM, I would say, because he's one heck of a player. Frank says, big up Tony, Champions League bound. Yeah, well, we're in them spaces at the moment, but, you know, we just got to see if, we just got to wait and see, I suppose, but see where we are come April, and if we're still up there in April, then yeah, why not? Let's go for it and try it. And Asherton says, how much money do you think we can really spend? I know they keep saying FFP, but I think we probably can spend a decent amount, probably just thrown off so people don't expect good bits. Last year, Kieran Maguire said we could spend up to 500 million without touching FFP. So remember, we got a sponsorship now by the looks of Saudi Arabia, but nothing's been confirmed yet by the club. So what we need to look at is how much is coming in to the club via sponsors, because that will help in your FFP. But I also think what helps as well is when you're paying by installments, because you're not actually paying that full fee out in one go. And that was the mistake Mike Ashley was doing, because he was paying for players in full rather than paying over installments. So if you're paying in installments, I mean, we're paying 3 million a year from the Pope in installments, you know. So I think that's the way you get around FFP. So I'm sure the club know how they can go for space, and I'm sure all the legal team looking around it all and going through it and saying, right, technically you can spend X amount of money. So I don't think we've got any worries whatsoever. It could be a tactic to make teams we won't bid for good players. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Yeah. Right. So next player I'm going to now is Alexander Isak. So he came in £63 million when Wilson was out injured. We badly needed a striker and we brought him in. Again, 22-year-old, one for the future. Well, he's a one for now, not just the future. I mean, he's, you know, lad's nowhere near his peak yet. And scored a terrific goal against Liverpool, as in his celebration there. Should have had another one. Was choked off by VAR. Fluffed a chance against Palace, which he should have buried really by rights, but didn't put it in the back of the net. And then after that, he scored against Bournemouth from the penalty spot, a terrific penalty. Now, unfortunately, he went to Sweden and got injured in the training camp. But this lad knows where the back of the net is, and he's he looks as if he could be a brilliant goal scorer, and I think he'll get double figures. I think he'll get 15 goals a season, if I'm honest, when he gets back in the league. So there's a lot more to come from this guy, and just remember, not in his peak yet. I'm going to give him an 8, because he's only played a few games, but he's got 2 goals, so he gets an 8 from me all day. I like coffee says 7. Yeah, for Isak. Ashton says 7 for them goals against Liverpool. We all know what he got done over by that paid referee. Yeah, he was well and truly done over. Frank, sort your picture. Kids may be watching. Okay, then thanks for that, Sean. If it's not a very nice pic, then please can you change it? Yeah, that would be great. Thank you. Ashton says, so salty Liverpool fan the other day saying the ref was paid by us in the Chelsea game, even though Chelsea were trying to injure players and getting let off without anything. Yeah, I mean, if I look at that game, it felt like Chelsea were coming for a draw, and I just thought, yeah, that's just not right at all. But that's what Potter was there for. He was trying for a draw. And then to blame it, saying, oh, well, we're only playing 1 game a week and they're playing 3 a week. Well, sorry, you're in the Champions League. What do you expect? And, you know, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if we're only playing 1 game a week. You know, we're up there on merit because we're up there because we're playing bloody well. That's why. And going on the Chelsea game as well, I don't think that Broja was up to much, if I'm honest. And look at Broja and I think, do you know what? I'm so pleased we didn't take him. I mean, yes, when he went to Southampton last year, he hit the ground running and he scored some goals for them in the first half of the season. The second half, he just went off the boil completely, was a completely different player. And I thought, not the type of player we need at the club at the moment. So I'm so pleased we didn't get him. And yeah, absolutely. Ashton says Broja and Havertz, dirty players with dirty attitudes. Yeah, I think Havertz was annoyed because Byrne got in his ear as soon as he came on the pitch. And I really think the FA need to come down hard on Chelsea over this, because whether the referee puts it in his report or not, I mean, yeah, it's just unacceptable and shouldn't be happening. It's a bit like when all the Man U players were surrounding the referee over Ronaldo's goal. I mean, that was ridiculous. I shouldn't say his red cards for behaviour alone. Yeah, I mean, the guy, he had his book open, the referee, so I thought, I must be booking more players. And when I looked at it, and I thought, well, I've not seen any more players booked, so he mustn't have. He must just been checking how many he'd booked. Foxy says, hit the like button, everyone. The whole squad, 10 out of 10. Hey, Foxy, thank you very much, mate. Yeah, much appreciated. Thank you. Ashton says, yes, never thought Potter would go into that low category of complaining man. Just think the money's gone to his head at Chelsea, probably why he's not succeeding. Yeah, he's just one of these managers. He's come into Chelsea and he's all of a sudden thought, oh, big club, I'm a big manager now. I'm in the big boys league, so I'll start acting like how Klopp would act in, you know. The only manager I've got really great respect for in that big six is Pep Guardiola, because that guy says it as it is, and he does not slate teams, and he's actually very, very complimentary to other teams as well, and that's what I like about Guardiola. And I wish there was more managers. I mean, Eddie's like Guardiola, he doesn't, but I wish there was other managers out there. And I mean, the likes of Klopps, the likes of Potters, that would just complement the other team, but these managers won't. I like coffee says, oh yeah, I saw Frank's picture. I thought it was Freddie Mercury singing. Yeah, not great. If that's the thing, I mean, I didn't say it properly, but obviously I was too busy doing the show. But yeah, thanks for that, guys. Anyway, and yeah, please, Frank, if you can change your picture, mate, because we do get kids watching this, and it's not really for kids. But you know, thank you anyway. Ashton says that ref should be yeah, I don't think that ref should be refereeing another Premier League game again. I think you should go back to the Championship. Sean says Champions League is a possibility. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, let's see where we're going. I mean, once we get back to the Premier League starting again after this World Cup break, hit the ground running again, which I'm sure we will do. We're in that top 4 still in January. We will attract some seriously bigger players. And if we do that and stay in that Champions League place And if we're still in that top 4 mix in April, then we push on and stay there till May. And then who knows what happens next season? Because, I mean, to go from the bottom of the league last season to Champions League this season, it's good. It's just great to be a Newcastle fan again. We just, we've got our club back, and this is, it's just absolutely fantastic. And I really didn't want this World Cup break, but then if we've got a few injuries, I'd rather have it so we get these injuries cleared up and get them back for December. But roll on 6 weeks. Come on, I want the Premier League back. I'm missing it already. Chris says Newcastle can do way better than Broja. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't rate him at all, Broja, and I don't want to see him in a Newcastle shirt, that's for sure. Ashton says, lost respect for him leaving Brighton. Yeah, he left Brighton all for money. That's what it was for. Money, money, money. I like Coffee. Would Champions League put too much pressure on our manager and team? Not necessarily, no. I mean, why should it, We've got the funds there. PIF's got the money. And if we've got the big sponsorships coming in, then it's all good for us. So, and Champions League as well, when you're in that brings a lot of money, TV revenue as well. So it's big money from Champions League football. So just think of the money coming in and the players we can buy. Watch us go. Going to Chelsea of all teams, says Ashton. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm Graham Potter. Yeah. Rumour has a Clip Clop was on one of them my police officers after the Chelsea game. Yeah, he probably was, wasn't he? Yeah. Sean says, yeah, Pep definitely the best manager out there, lads. Yeah, he is absolutely. I like him. I can listen to him all day. I mean, because he just compliments other teams, and he's a joy to listen to at times. He really is, and very rarely does he get flustered. Foxy says, I understand Bob Potter under pressure right now, and that he's never experienced before. He left Brighton for the bag of money. Yeah, absolutely. Too right, he did. Yeah, he did. John think ahead be a good idea when England play the USA in the World Cup is get the American guest that comes on, to come on the World Cup day. I think you mean Ryan. Ryan's actually Canadian. He's not, well, he is North American, but he's not American as such. He's not from the USA. He's from Canada. He's Canadian. But I should imagine he'd be up for them Canadian games. I mean, it's a great thing for Canada to be at the World Cup, isn't it? And, especially say how Jonathan David does as well. Another player that's been linked with us as well. Alec Coffee says, Guardiola after the match with us asked the reporter if he enjoyed the game and told the reporter that's all that matters. Absolutely. Ashton says, think of it this way. We shall have Isak back next time we play. Looking forward to seeing him play more. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was just unlucky he got injured with Sweden, but, thankfully he's back now and absolutely ideal. Mikey Mag says, Isak is going to be back after the World Cup and can't wait to see him. Yeah, absolutely. Sefton says, remember 95, 10 points clear and we looked untouched. I still have nightmares not winning the title. That's how easy it is dropping points. Could this be our season? But I'm not getting excited. Absolutely, Sefton. I mean, look, when we were 12 points clear of Man United, we should have won the title that season. And I can remember when they came to St James's Park and Eric Cantona scored the winner and they won 1-0 and Schmeichel had an unbelievable game that night. I mean, nothing would go past him whatsoever. He was unplayable that night, Schmeichel in goal. And I still thought, we're still going to get this. It's still ours. And I couldn't believe when we lost it. And then Keegan lost it as well, didn't he, when he come out and because Alex Ferguson played 9 games with him and Keegan got drawn into that. And come on with these little rant of, I love it if we beat them, love it. And it didn't happen, did it? So, yeah, I mean, totally different now. But, yeah, we should have won that league that year. Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree with you. And I still have nightmares over that as well. Paul says, evening, people. Evening to you. Hope you're well, mate. Thank you for coming on. Sean says, Potter going to Chelsea proves how is far better. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, people laughed when we took Eddie Howe on as manager, and, they're not laughing now. Sefton says hi to Paul. Ashton says, I can see Isak's scoring a lot. Yeah, I think he'll get at least 15 this season if he stays fit. I'm glad Brighton beat Chelsea 4-1. Yeah, absolutely. It showed him up, didn't it? Showed Potter up. Sean says, Sefton, if we had Pope that season, we would have won the league. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely agree with that one. I should also think our defence now, on top of the good attacking, we may be onto something this season. Yeah, I mean, everywhere is solid in the team, isn't it, really? I mean, from the back to the front, I know they say your best form of attack is defence, and, why not? Why not? But at least we're third on Christmas Day. That's what you got to remember now. Paul says, last time Newcastle won the top 4 Christmas, we finished 4th, and I think we will do it. I can't see us dropping many points. No, I can't see us dropping many points either, Paul. Because the way we're playing. And I hope on February 18th, we get revenge on Liverpool and send Klopp home miserable, because I'd love to. I defo Sean says Sefton. I like coffee. I don't understand how mind games affected Keegan. Yeah, he just got drawn into it with Ferguson, and Ferguson said things about players and clubs. He said Nottingham Forest would play a weekend side against Newcastle just to help Newcastle win the league over Man United. And Keegan just got drawn into it, and he just went boom. Even the players didn't realise what was happening. And the guy that a lot of people we don't like, hairy hands, Richard Keys, because I spoke to him about that, and he said, well, I was just about to go off air, and I said to the directors, I said, the producers of the show, I said, whoa, hang on a minute, don't go off yet, let's stay on, because there's something brewing here, and I want to keep talking to Kevin Keegan here, because something's brewing. And he says, don't go off yet. And sure enough, that's when Keegan come out and said what he said. And yeah, we'll never forget that. Ashton says, did anyone see Brighton Villa game? I don't know how on earth Brighton lost that. Yeah, I felt sorry for Brighton. They should have got something out of that game. Hope Isak scores a hat-trick against Liverpool. Plus, we play them just before they play Real Madrid. Yes, that's right. So that depends what they're going to take seriously, the Champions League or the Premier League. If it's a Champions League, then they're going to have to rest a few players. LA Coffee, Dean should have conceded a penalty before the referee. Yeah, that was a penalty all day. That looked a penalty all day, didn't it? And Mighty Mag, I looked at the fixtures. Possible results worked out. We could end up with approximately 87 points. That would be class. Yeah, that would be class. But yeah, let's not get too carried away thinking that at the moment. But yeah, let's see. I mean, we're on 30 points already. Who knows where we could end up? It's yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. But if we got to that point, I'll be happy with that. Sean says, I was born here. You'd have to say this is the best Newcastle I've seen. Yeah, I mean, I was born 72, so I'm 50, but I remember going in my first match in 82, and I remember Keegan's debut as well, magnificent. To get a player of Kevin Keegan's calibre at that time as well was a big draw as well. And I always remember he's when he played that testimonial as well, and then he went off in the helicopter, and that was farewell and goodbye. And if I was honest, I thought that's the last we'll ever see of Keegan. And then he came back to the club as manager, and it was like, wow, this is fantastic. We've got Keegan back. The king is back. And do you know what? As a manager, for somebody who had never managed a club and was just playing golf in Marbella, for John Holt to actually bring him in and get him in as a manager, what a master stroke that was. And that got the club back to where they belonged. And yeah, never ever forget about that. Foxy says, Keegan apparently tried to quit multiple times. Great manager as manager, great guy, but too emotional when he's heart and his teeth. Yeah, absolutely. I was at the game in the what is the championship now, and it was Division Two at the time, and we were playing Swindon Town. I think if I remember, I think we were leading at half time 1-0. So I was in the Milburn paddock standing, and I remember the second half, and I was like, "Where's Kevin Keegan?" Because I saw Terry McDermott come out and the other coaching staff. I thought, "Where's Keegan?" Nowhere to be seen. And obviously Terry McDermott was doing all the managing duties. And then it wasn't till well after the match and got home and everything, because obviously when I used to come out the ground, and I think a lot of people in here may be of the same as well, but when you used to come out the ground after the match, I used to hang around waiting for the pink to come out, because the pink used to get delivered at about 5:15 to the newspaper stands. And I used to love that paper, the pink. If anybody doesn't know what the pink is, the pink is it's the Chronicle. So it was part of the Chronicle, and the pink was the football paper. And it used to have all the tables on the front and all the results on there. And you used to open the page up and read about Newcastle and Sunderland and all that. The pink was a fantastic paper. Why they ever took that away is beyond me, because I'll tell you what, I think if they sold it now, it would sell out tenfold. I mean, it used to sell out back then as well. I used to love the pink. I mean, if you can remember the pink, get your comments in the chat, because I used to love that paper. It was fantastic. And I used to always wait for every match day. I used to hang around, because I used to hang around the same stand. So the guy used to say to me, "You waiting for the pink, aren't you?" "Yeah, I'm waiting for the pink, mate." "Yeah." And used to be loads of us. And because as soon as the guy turned up with it, everyone was like delving in, trying to get that copy of the pink. And I mean, that was just great days. That's great days, memories as well. I mean, fantastic. But yeah, I remember that. And then when I got home, then the news came on. They said, "Oh yeah, Kevin Keegan's walked out on Newcastle because over some transfer money or whatever, and he's gone." And they're going to hopefully try and get him back. And that was after that. So that was that game against Swindon. I remember that one. I remember he's gone a few times as well. Yeah. So yeah, great days. Sefton says, "I still think the mistakes buying the Spear might be wrong, but we feel about changing the squad." Yeah, a lot of people blame Asprey. I mean, but what a sign he was. I mean, that hat-trick against Barcelona. I mean, £6 million for that guy as well, if you remember. I mean, what a bargain. I mean, how much would he be worth in today's money, I mean, same with Shearer, how much would he be worth today? Ashton says, "Villa paying refs now, oh dear." Yeah. And he says, "Mighty Mag, that would be a superb season if we finished on 87 points. Yeah, absolutely. I like coffee. Still 10 points to reach safety. Yeah, I don't think we got to worry about the R word, the relegation word. Nah, we got no worries about that now. Ashington says, "Shearer was at his prime when I was young watching football." Sefton says, "I was in the stand for KK versus QPR. Yeah, I was in the Gallagher end, mate. Scoreboard. Yeah, on the scoreboard. As a youngster, banging on the scoreboard." Sean says, "My mum and dad were at the match and Keegan helicopter." Yeah, that was emotional. Yeah, believe it or not, I was a teenager. Was I a teenager? No, I wasn't quite a teenager, but yeah, I mean, I cried. Sean says, "Love the pink." Yeah, absolutely. What a great paper it was. Brilliant. Sefton says, "The pink, I loved it." Yeah. Yeah, it's nice to have memories like that, isn't it? I mean, I used to love getting the pink. Mighty Mag says, "Excellent, the pink." Sefton says, "I used to sell it." Oh, right, okay. So whereabouts did you sell it, Sefton? Because I used to always come out the Gallagher end, and, well, it's probably more where about the club shop is. There used to be stand there. Was it? No, it wasn't. Sorry, it was across the road where the hot dog van was. So that's where I used to go for the pink, yeah. He says, "For extra money." Oh, brilliant. Nice one. Mighty Mag says, "Me too, Sefton outside the CIU club." Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Boss times, mate. Yeah, absolutely. Sean says Saturday Pink. Do you know what? What's the best football paper going that was? I wished I'd kept a copy now. LA Coffee, Shearer and Ferdinand, our most lethal partnership. They probably are. Well, I would say they were lethal, but so were Cole and Biadzi as well. I mean, they were a partnership to be had as well. So I mean, we've had some good partnerships over the years. So yeah, so you could say Shearer, Ferdinand, and Cole and Biadzi are probably the best we've had, you know. And then we've had other ones as well. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, Emma Bar and Cisse weren't bad together either with us. So yeah, we've had some good strike partnerships, and yeah. So we got through with players. So I'm going to go on to the fans. I think the fans have been absolutely fantastic this year. We've been absolutely brilliant everywhere we've gone, home and away. Can't grumble. We've been absolutely fantastic everywhere we go. Sell out everywhere. Can't get a ticket for love or for money. The fans are 10 out of 10 all day for me. Brilliant. We've been absolutely brilliant this year. Well done, the fans. And now I'm going to go to the main man, and that is Eddie Howe. And is he pointing at to say, is that the way at the Champions League? Well, if it is, then he's pointing in the right direction. Eddie Howe, 12 months he's been here now, and what a difference this club has made under Eddie Howe. How big a stride we have made under him. Considering where we were, we couldn't buy a win. Then we got the win against Burnley. We had that tough December, which wasn't an awful December. We got the draw Man U. We should have had a win there against them. They stole a point off us. But then we got to January and Trippier came through the door and things changed. And I'll tell you what, we just went on a run. And that 9-game run was a telling point. And we did really well. And not only did we stay up, but we stayed up by a mile and we stayed up very comfortable as well. And then this season, we just started off on fire. I think Forest probably was the perfect game to start off with, if I'm honest, because I'm not saying because it's an easy 3 points, but I'm just thinking because that was probably the best one to have. Because then you get that first win, that then grows the confidence. And to only have lost to Liverpool, so we're sitting on 30 points, plus 18 goal difference. What a fantastic achievement this guy has done. He's been absolutely fantastic for us. And he's only going to get better and hopefully wins a few trophies for us. He might even get the Carabao Cup this season. I'm still tipping him to do that because that was in my predictions before the balls were kicked. So for me, Eddie Howe gets 10 out of 10 all day. And Premier League clubs now must be looking and thinking, we've missed a trick here. We should have had him. When Arsenal were searching for a manager before they got Arteta, they maybe should have thought, oh, we could have had Eddie Howe. Fans that ridiculed us when we took Eddie Howe on all laughed at us. They're not laughing now. Oh, no, they're not now because they know we've got a fantastic man in charge of this club. And people who were out there saying Eddie Howe was going to be like what Mark Hughes was for for Manchester City short term. Well, no. Eddie Howe's for the long term because our owners can see what this guy is bringing to the club, and this guy gets better and better. And he got that long-term contract just before the season started. And do you know what? That day before the season starting against Forest, getting that long-term deal and that coming out in the press makes it even better. And the players know that he's here for the long term. Because when you've got a manager here for a short term, that's when your players start going downhill and not playing properly. But when they know the manager's here for the long term, and every single player in that club loves this manager. I mean, Bruno's come out and said how much he loves Eddie Howe, how brilliant he is. You know, Bruno probably never even heard of Eddie Howe before. He probably had to look up on Wikipedia and see who he was, you know. Probably like a lot of players that have come in from abroad, they've probably looked and thought, who's Eddie Howe? Never heard of him, you know. But they've heard of him now, and the Premier League know about him. And people, yes, might say, oh, well, he took Bournemouth down. Yeah, but you got to look at Bournemouth in that no disrespect, but Bournemouth are a club that don't have the funds, like what we have, or like say for instance what like Leicester had a few years ago, things like that. So they haven't really got them sort of funds. And he did well for what he had to do with Bournemouth, but now he's at a club where where he's got a huge amount of funds. He's managing bigger players, no disrespect to Bournemouth, but he's managing bigger players than the likes of Bruno, Botman, sharing that. This guy is the business. This guy is the real deal. And with Eddie, the only way is up. Or the way Eddie's saying, the only way is the Champions League. And I'm going to delve into some comments now. And see where we're up to on comments. Sefton says, outside the Magpie Club. Oh, yeah. Used to love the Magpie Club. That was a great club, that was. Sean says, my dad lives in Peterborough now. That's why I asked if you live in Peterborough. He lives right next to the London Road where the posh play. Ah, right. Yeah. No, I don't. I know I live in Suffolk. So, well, Peterborough's about an hour and 15 minutes, about 67 miles from where I live. But it's just easier because I would have to get a train from Ely to Peterborough, but it's the way the times run. I don't think they run very late, come back, so it's just easier just to drive, park up there, and get on the train from Peterborough and go straight to Newcastle. So yeah, I like Coffee says 10 out of 10 for the fans. Yeah, too right. Ashton says fans 10, Eddie 10. Yeah, absolutely. Foxy says I went the first game after Keegan quit the Villa pot when Bosnich slipped and Lee Cox scored. I remember my mum buying a Tino shirt outside the stadium, left it on the train on the way home in tears. Oh gosh, no way. Oh, gutting. I bet somebody picked that up then. I like Coffee said I heard Chelsea fans that they don't have a dedicated medical team for their players. If they haven't, well, that's unbelievable. Sefton says Eddie's a number one unbelievable man. Absolutely, Sefton. Too right he is. Chris says Eddie's been incredible. Can't praise him highly enough. Absolutely. Sean says Eddie Howe's Black and White Army. Yeah, bang on, mate. Bang on. It's scary to think how far we can go with Eddie, says Mag. I mean, but why not? Eddie's already said he doesn't want the England job. He wants the day-to-day running of the club. Why do you want to sit on your backside for 6 months waiting for another game to come around? You would get bored. Paul says the League Club is an excellent League Cup. He must mean is an excellent chance to win this season. The team's already out, and it's Liverpool City in the next round. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've got them in the next round. Teams don't generally play their strongest sides because they've got Champions League and things like that to play for, so they don't want to risk injury. So yeah, who knows? Let's see how far we can go. I mean, Tottenham are out as well. Don't forget they got beat off first. Mighty Mag says I wouldn't swap Eddie for anyone. No, not at all. Wouldn't swap him at all. Ashton says Lampshade will be getting sacked soon for Everton. He will be looking for Bruce. yeah. But you know what? If Everton go down, I would absolutely love it. I would love it just to see them go down. I wanted Howe years ago, says Sean. Yeah. And Ashton says Eddie did wonders there, bringing them into the Prem in the first place. And now look at his defence compared to back then. He's clearly learned a lot. Yeah, he has. I mean, when he left Bournemouth, he didn't just sit back. He went out. He went to Juventus, done training ground with Maurizio Sarri. Learned a lot from him. Went to Atletico Madrid, learned a lot from Diego Simeone. So he's already got a rapport with Simeone. And also stood with Klopp at Liverpool on the training ground. So the guy's gone around getting knowledge of different types of managers and putting it all into use. It just shows you. I mean, when managers who get sacked normally just sit back and just think, well, we'll go on a holiday or whatever because we've got compensation now, Not Eddie Howe. He was like, no, I want to try and make what he thought was, right, now I've left Bournemouth, right. How do I become a better manager? What can I do to become a better manager? Would I ever be an elite manager? And he's probably thought the answer is yes. I need to get out there and I need to go and see some top class managers to get experience on them and see how they do things so I can take it on board and replicate that myself. And that's exactly what Eddie Howe's done. He's gone out there, got the knowledge, done the job done. And now we're reaping them rewards from what Eddie Howe's done. And long may that continue. Absolutely fantastic. Mikey Mag says, when's the televised schedule out for the Cup? I'm not sure. I haven't seen anything yet, but I would imagine Liverpool City will be the top one on that one. Chris says, Newcastle's the most exciting prospect in world football. Top players will be scrambling to join us very soon. Yeah, absolutely. Of course they will. Yeah, definitely. And that's what we're looking forward to. And we've always said, we don't demand a team that wins. We just demand a team that tries. And a lot of people think, oh, because we've got the money now, we're all going to go above ourselves and see, we're going to win everything. We're not off about that. But what we're on about is we just want to play well and see how far the team goes and win trophies on the way, obviously, as well. Foxy says, I think we'll be in a good position compared to the other teams when the games return. A lot of our key players will be fresh, like Mickey, Joe Linton, ESM, Botman and Burn. Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. I mean, because they're not going to the World Cup, Foxy. And Mickey's going to be fresh, isn't he? So's Joe Linton. And just hope Botman's injury isn't as serious as thought. So hopefully I know he's went on his ankle, so hopefully it's nothing more than just a sprain or a bruising or whatever. But I totally agree with that. Ashton says, Eddie learns from Styles and adopts in his way, not just copying. Yeah, absolutely. He just does it that way. And he does. He's absolutely brilliant. Sean says, I'm off to bed. Got work at 8 a.m. Stay safe, Tony and chat. Yeah. And you too, mate, as well, Sean. Thank you for being on tonight, mate. And see you on the next show. And you stay safe as well, mate. And get a good night's kip for work in the morning. Foxy says, El Cholo Simeone helped her out a lot from a defensive standpoint. Yeah, because Simeone's defensive. I mean, he's, his management skills is pretty good, isn't it? So I mean, he's a good man. He's proved it as well at Atletico Madrid. And can anybody ever see him come to the Premier League? I don't know. Might do. He may fancy a change, but who knows in the future? But but like you say, Eddie Howe's learned a lot from him. Yeah, absolutely. Trolls, evening all. And he says, evening, Tony. Evening to you as well, Trolls. Thank you for coming on my channel, mate. And nice to see you on here. But we're going to be coming to the end of the show now, guys. And we've been on over an hour and a half now. I hope you've all enjoyed it tonight. We've done a half-term report. At some point, I'm not sure when it's going to be. It could be this week, could be next week. I'm just waiting for him to get back to me. But Andrew Musgrove, journalist who works for the Evening Chronicle, is going to come on the show, and we're going to talk Newcastle with him and what he's thought about the season so far, because just to get a journalist's point of view from it, and a local journalist as well in Andrew. He's a very nice guy, is Andrew Musgrove. And he's going to come on. And so I'm looking forward to when we get Andrew Musgrove on. And obviously that will be announced when he does come on. So I'm just to track from when he's available to come on. As he's currently been away on honeymoon and just got back at the weekend. So congratulations to Andrew Musgrove on his wedding and honeymoon, and hope you had a great time out there. And I look forward to when he does come on the show. It's been absolutely great. And I'll just go through some more comments as well. Ashton, if we win the Prem at some point, the parties are going to be huge. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, God. Yeah, can you imagine it? Yeah. I mean, I remember when we got promoted in 93 season. And I remember standing down by the Haymarket and you just could not move for people when the bus was coming through, the open top bus. You could not move, you know. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, that's going to be massive. Trolls, I've subbed. Thank you very much, Trolls. Much appreciated, mate. Thank you so much. Foxy says, well, fingers crossed everything goes okay for Miggy the next couple of days playing 2 friendlies in the US. Yeah, fingers crossed. Hopefully he gets through them unscathed and it's absolutely fine. Sefton says, I still don't know how we managed to hitchhike from Gateshead to Peterborough on a Friday night for War 1978 FA Cup on Monroe. Yeah, hats off to them guys. I mean, that's a hell of a walk, isn't it, from Peterborough? And yeah, absolutely fantastic. I mean, what an achievement. And that just shows you how loyal our fans are. Been another good one, Tony says, matey Mac. Thank you so much, mate. Thank you very much. I like coffee. Bye, Tony and all. Thank you, I like coffee. See you again, mate. Great show, Tony. Excellent content. Thanks so much, Chris. Ashton says, okay, see you later, Tony. Yeah, I mean, I put different backgrounds on now because I think if I've got the background for that show, I think it replicates it better. So, you know, Seven says, have you ever considered doing a live phone-in as other podcasters don't do it? Well, yeah, I've done things like the match reaction and the fans forum, but I mean, you know, people can come on. I mean, I might actually do a show like that where people can come on, and you don't have to be on camera. So all you do is when you log in to the StreamYard, all you do is when you click the link is where it says stop cam. If you click stop cam, then you're behind like a blank screen. Like if I click stop cam now, you can't see me, so but you can hear me. So you can do that, and you can talk from behind that. So if you don't want to be on screen live, and we can do a thing like that, and yeah, that's something I will do, and I would love to do that and get people on to come and give me their thoughts on how things are going at the moment. And do you know what? That might even be done this week. So I mean, the fan zone will be here Thursday as normal, but yeah, watch the space because I may just do that. And as I say, I'm just waiting to hear back from Andrew. And also next Monday, I'll be doing a warm-up show for the England-Iran game, then a half-time analysis, and then a full-time as well. So keep an eye out for that one. If you don't watch it live, try and watch it on catch-up. It should be a good one. But yeah, thanks for that, Sefton. Trollsy is so looking forward to seeing Isak on the pitch again. Yeah, I am as well, mate. I mean, can't wait. Foxy says, take care, everyone. Great show, Tony. Thanks so much, Foxy. Thank you for your support, mate. Thank you. Troll says, take care and have a great night. Yeah, thanks very much, Trolls. You take care as well, mate. And Ashton says, get people in the Discord where people can chat. Yeah, I'm definitely going to look into that, mate. Absolutely, definitely. Yeah. Sefton says you can be the new Alan Robson. Yeah, well, that guy's a legend, Alan Robson. I mean, remember when he announced Shearer as well? I mean, that guy's an absolute Northeast legend. And I used to love listening to Night Owls, you know. And, but yeah, that guy's brilliant. I like Alan Robson. Shame he's retired now, but yeah, great guy. So, guys, if you like what you see, then please hit those like buttons. It really does help my channel. It really does help go up the search settings as well, and people can find the channel a lot easier as well. So that's for that. And also, if you haven't yet, then please hit the subscribe button. It's free to do so, and that really helps the channel grow as well. And also hit the bell notification. That'll let you know when I put any pre-recorded videos on or I'm coming live as well. So that keeps you notified of all shows coming up on the It's All Black and White TV channel. And got a couple of more comments here. Ashton Night Owls used to listen to that as well. Yeah, loved it. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. And Matey Max says, new clips of Ronaldo coming out. He's really spat. He's dumb me out. Yeah, I mean, the guy's a disgrace, and he's gone to the World Cup, and so good luck to Massey, because it's all Man U that's got this drama, not us. It's nice for a change to not actually. It's nice for us not to have the dramas anymore. We're not the circus now that we used to be in years gone by. People are taking us more seriously now. And I'm glad we've got rid of that circus environment now. And Sefton says, Nate, you as well, Sefton. Thank you very much, mate. Right, guys, so that is it. We're at the end of the show. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Thank you to all new subscribers tonight as well, and everybody who's subscribed so far. Yeah, keep sharing the channel around. Let people know where I am so they can come and find us. And yeah, onwards and upwards, I say. But from now, we sit on 30 points. We're in third place. Away the lads, and let's look forward to December. So I'm checking out for now. Good night, everybody, and have a good night's sleep. Thank you. Bye.